Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel for another season of Alliance War. It is season 46, and our first war is a matchup against GT40, out of the frying pan and into the fire. And folks, this season is going to be interesting to say the least. Let's take a look at the tactics, as they are brand new for the season and very, very punishing. The defense tactic is called Crush 2.0. Basically says every time the defender gains a bar of power, they inflict 2 of these daunted passives on you. And then when you have 2 or more of these on you, you're going to be passively rooted during the defender's special attacks. And if that wasn't enough, each daunted passive gives a 20% chance for the defender to be completely unblockable during their special attacks. So you've got rooted special attacks and unblockable special attacks. Now you can ignore the unblockable with well-timed blocks. However, many of the defenders in this tactic have very tricky multi-hit special attacks. So well-timing every hit in those special attacks is probably, very difficult to impossible. So, all right, the attacker tactic for this season is called Sturdy. It says whenever you intercept, a sturdy attacker inflicts the opponent with a 10-second taunt debuff. I actually think this is a passive and not a debuff. This might be a text error. And then when the defender throws a special attack, their entirety of their power is drained beyond what they actually used for that special attack. So every special attack is going to bring them down to 0 power. And then when the power is drained in that manner, you're going to gain a steadfast buff. I actually also think this is a passive for 10 seconds. So the idea here is that you want to intercept tactic defenders with a tactic attacker to place that taunt, which is supposedly going to force them to throw specials. And when they throw a special, you're going to gain that steadfast passive, which is going to allow you to block their unblockable special attacks. Now, there is no additive block proficiency in the steadfast buff, so blocking a whole bunch of special attacks is still going to give you a ton of chip damage, but, on the bright side, you won't be dying from an unblockable special attack. So, I guess that's a win. Okay, having said all that, let's jump back to the war itself. Our team today is going to be Absorber Man, Omega Sentinel, and Archangel. Omega Sentinel, of course, is tactic this season. Let's jump right in. We're starting off today on path number 6. We have a unduped 7-star Mojo here on node 6. Going to go in here with Archangel to turn off the spiked armor node. You notice Mojo has the energy resist stat focus and not the block pen, which is great because that's going to reduce the amount of chip damage. Not that we're using Archangel for another fight after this, but it's still just, really nice. I don't think Mojo throws a special attack at any point during this fight, which is fine. I would have just blocked it anyways. So we get really good RNG for the bleeds at the start of the fight. Get a poison up early as well, so we've got the neurotoxins running. Fire off that special one. He is just melting away here. Going to trigger the stun from the neurotoxin during the parry, so we get like a double stun there. And I don't think we've had to worry about the anti-life field at all here. And there he goes. No special attacks. What was that, like a 20-second fight? No worries. Alright, moving on, we have a Kitty Pride on node 15. This is a very, very tricky fight. And I actually do die to this fight. My first death in probably 2 or 3 seasons. Very frustrating, but, it is what it is. The fight is also bugged. We'll get to that toward the end of the fight. So we're using the Cowardice pre-fight here to deal with her prowess. She's going to be getting extra prowess from the node, which does count toward her phase, so we need to be very mindful about keeping those removed. Other than that, since it's tactic versus tactic, we need to make sure that we are intercepting her quite a bit in order to keep that passive taunt up on her so that when she fires a special one into us, we're going to be able to block it all. So at the start of the fight here, we're doing a very, very good job here, but this is kind of where the fight starts to go wrong. So right here, I'm going to pause the video. So the problem here is that Kitty's special one takes so long that she's getting enough prowess from the aggression prowess node in order to phase again. And even though that I feel like I'm on time with the punish, she somehow has enough time after her special one and enough space to start a phase. And you're going to see that in just a second. So let's go ahead and unpause the video here. So right here I go in for the punish, she has phased, causes me to miss, and here's where the second problem and the bug in the fight comes into play. So the insurance policy flourish node says that whenever you remove prowess from the defender, they instead gain these flourish buffs, which you can see Kitty has now. However, Kitty's own abilities are causing her to incorrectly gain these flourish buffs when she consumes prowess after a phase that causes the attacker to miss. So at this point, the fight is essentially over because her combat power rate is now so high, you basically only get one chance to intercept her, and if she doesn't cooperate, then she has a bar of power, and you needing to intercept, or else you're going to take a special to the face, and that's exactly what happens. So let's go ahead and unpause the video here. So I'm going to bait out a heavy here, and I have one chance to do an intercept. She doesn't cooperate, I push her over bar of power, and now the fight is over. I can either try a risky intercept, which she's going to special intercept me, or I can just take this unblockable special one to the face, and the incinerates kill me pretty much instantly. So a very, very frustrating interaction with her, and the bug didn't help either. So we go back in, and honestly, the cleanup goes almost just as poorly. So I healed up to full. It cost me about 5 level 4 potions to heal up Omega Sentinel, fully boosted, back up. And we have essentially the same problem. I couldn't get the intercept off, so now again she has a bar of power, forcing me to either risk an intercept and a special intercept, or just take the special to the face. She doesn't cooperate with my light attack, she instead holds block. I somehow am able to just panic kill her before the incinerates finish me off, so that could have been a double KO. Alright, had to quickly shake off that death, heal up Omega Sentinel back up to full, so we're like 10 potions deep already in this war. It's only War 1. We have a Weapon X Mini here, an Ascended Weapon X Mini on node 40 with Burden of Might, so we won't really have access to our special attacks. This is a pretty standard Weapon X fight. Just want to keep the heal block on him to stop his natural regen and from the regen from high energy diet. Trying to get an intercept there. Fortunately, he heavies and gives me an opening. Not really sure what happened there, but now we're just trying to get into a loop here where I can intercept him when he's predictably aggressive and just keep him cycling special attacks to give me openings there. I guess I was too slow on the backdraft there and he caught me, so fortunately this is our last Omega Sentinel fight because I don't think I would be able to heal her up to full again after this. So just finishing our combos in mediums when we see that the heal blocks might be expiring. Otherwise, you can just keep them paused with the light combo ender. Doesn't really matter here. But again, the important thing is just to keep him above a bar of power here so that you can cycle specials. His Berserk has run out, so we need to activate it a second time and wait out the Unstoppable. Try and get an intercept here. I think I do get it this time. There we go. Missed it that first cycle around. Cycle the heal block there, and again, he's very aggressive, so you can almost always take like super risky medium backdrafts here instead of doing light backdrafts, just because he's almost guaranteed to just dash in after you when you dash back. And there we go. That mini is down, and now we come to a fight that I really did enjoy. I was a little afraid of this one. This is a rank 3 Maestro on node 45 with Hazard Shift, and we're going in with a rank 5 Carl. This is unascended Carl, so we have a huge rank disadvantage here. So the objective here is really just to knock Maestro down as much as we can, and that's going to keep the timer on his cosmic charges, or whatever they're called, paused as long as possible here. So you can heavy counter his special 2, and you can heavy counter his heavy quite easily. So we started with an advanced power boost, as you saw, and then just heavy countered into the special attack. I think you have to do one light here in order to close the distance for the heavy. So I practiced that a bunch before I went into this fight. And then from here, it's just a matter of keeping your form refreshed. Heavy counter again into, or heavy cancel rather, into the special one when you can. One thing I did not really plan for here is that Maestro will glance Carl's regen. So at some point here, I'm trying to activate like the super big vulnerability passive and also trigger my regen when I need it, but he glances it and it consumes the morph charges, but you don't actually get either of the effects from it, so that's a little frustrating. I found out after the fact that if you just wait it out and let the morph charges get up to max, they will trigger automatically when you throw your next special, because Maestro can't glance on special attacks. So live and learn. So the fight is almost over. I think I misplay it near the end here and end up losing my form, unfortunately. So you can see like we're taking cosmic radiation damage, but it's not too bad. And I forget where I lose my form. The fight looks well in hand here, but it actually gets a little sketchy toward the end here. Heavy counter his special 2 here. Right here, I think, I'm not really sure what kind of happens here. I kind of expected maybe that heavy to push him over a bar. So now you can see he's not really cooperating or trying to keep the form paused, but we didn't trigger any of the debuffs. And there we go. I lose my form, trigger a bunch of shocks in myself. So fortunately, I have a bar of power, so I can throw it, re-trigger my form, and now the fight is pretty much over. So again, a little sketchy there at the end, but otherwise not too shabby for a like a 3-rank disadvantage there. So all right, we did not go on to win this war. Shout out to GT40. It's the most deaths I've seen them give up ever. It was like, I think 20-9 maybe was the final score. So shout out to them. 4 kills for me. My first death in a couple seasons. So, you know, RIP Deathless Season already, and our record stands at 0-1. I have additional thoughts on the tactic that I don't really want to talk about right now. I really want to get kind of more experience with the tactic before I kind of make a judgment call on it. So, folks, if you enjoyed this, please let me know by hitting that like button, and hope you stick around for the rest of the season. As always, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next time.